Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to our study of the tongue, the mouth, the words. As today we'll focus on one specific aspect presented in Proverbs, lying. There's actually a lot being said just online, so we'll actually cut this into. That's a lot of videos, I know. But like I said, Proverbs talks a lot about our speech. What we'll focus on this time is the characteristics of a liar. Next time around, we'll see the consequences and the contrasts. Now, I say the characteristics are important because there's a lot being said about Christians, and to what extent can we that we can say lying is bad. Some are quick to say, all lying is sin, don't lie Christians, point, that's it, period. And others will kind of play with the limits. I'm not here to try to enter the debate, just saying the Proverbs say specific things, really present a specific aspect or facet of the liar. And I think we want to look at it very carefully. We'll start slowly. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift he does not give. I would say this is the first element we want to recognize of a liar. There'll be a few of them. This first element is how he's concealing it, right? He's boasting of a gift, but in reality, he's not going to give one. Concealment. Now, this notion of boasting of a gift and not giving should make us think of false teachers, actually. Because Jude himself says that these false teachers are like clouds and wind without rain. It's all empty. They promise spiritual experience and better relationship with the Spirit, but it's all empty. You won't get anything but false and destructive spirituality and experiences. But they're boasting of, but they can't deliver. So, concealment. We continue. A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends. The whisperer is the one who uses his mouth in his dishonesty. But that's the second element I want to look at. The describers. They're dishonest. They're whisperers. That's who they are in their hearts. They're liars. We'll see that. What do? They spread strife. They want to hurt and they want to separate even the closest of friends. They want to do harm. Third element. So they concealing a wicked heart, and they'll have to bring harm. Now let's see more of that as we move along. Whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a simple babbler. We understand that both parts go together. So when he warns us about babblers, he's warning us about slanderers. Don't associate. They're trying to separate friendships, so you separate from them, right? We understand that slanderer is one who speaks about people, either true or false things, with the specific purpose of hurting them. I repeat, a slanderer will either say true things or false things. Either he'll actually reveal real secrets or fake ones with the specific purpose of hurting people, like we just saw. So we're seeing these elements being played out. We continue. An evildoer listens to wicked lips, and a liar gives ear to a mischievous tongue. Again, we are presented who they are. They're evildoers, they are liars. That's the core of their being and of their hearts. And as these kinds of people who speak lies, well, guess what? They have to listen to it as well. They give ear to it as well. They speak lies because they go and feed on lies. They discover stuff about people, true or not. They love finding out these kind of things so they can spread it and hurt people with it. Remember those elements, right? Their hearts are evil. They feed on evil now to make their hearts evil. They do these things so they can hurt others. And now we continue. A worthless witness mocks at justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Again, here's who they are. Here's how they describe the wicked. They're worthless, or we would say lying witnesses. We know because what they're speaking is a way to destroy justice. They mock it. They want to ruin it. It's in a court setting right now, but it will go further than that later on. And when we move from this idea of them mocking justice, and what they do instead is they devour, they feed on iniquity. Like we saw, they like to feed on all this information, true or not, so they can use it to do the evil. So we're putting these elements together. Their hearts are evil and they feed on evil. They hide this truth, we'll go back to that soon, and they use it to hurt others. We continue. A man who bears false witness, that's what I meant from before, against his neighbor is like a war club or a sword or a sharp arrow. Trusting in the treacherous man in times of trouble is like a bad tooth and a foot that slips. Again, that's who they are. They're false witnesses. They're treacherous men. Their hearts are filled with lies and they feed on lies. And that's how they hurt people. Like a club or sword or a sharp arrow. And trusting in them. Again, we were worried about them. It's like trying to eat when you have a bad tooth or a broken tooth. It's like trying to walk when you have a sprained ankle. You're just making it hard on yourself. Don't trust them. Be careful. We've been warned. We continue. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is the man who deceives his neighbors and says, I'm only joking. Please be careful here. The point is not that joking is bad. That's not it. The point is that these madmen, these men of deceit, because again, that's what their heart is described at, they just try to destroy people, throwing firebrands, arrows, literally death by trying to separate through their words. But when they're caught in their deceit, when they're caught in their lies, caught with the fact that they have nothing to give, I'm only joking. I didn't mean that for real. I'm sorry I spoke behind your back. I won't do it again. All these excuses because they're concealers. We're coming back to that now. As we continue and read, the one who conceals hatred has lying lips, and whoever others slander is a fool. This is less parallelism and more explanation of the second one. The explanation for the first one. That makes more sense. Again, they're concealing what? Hatred. An evil heart. A heart that feeds on the information of others so they can hurt them with it. And what they're hiding is lying lips. A deceitful heart. One that just wants to harm others. And these kinds of people, the slanderers, they're nothing more than fools. Remember, a fool is one who denies God exists. One who lives as if God's rules don't apply to them. In other words, it's the epitome of sinners. That's what the slander is. Because again, the slanderer is purposely aiming to hurt people with information, true or not. That's an evil heart. We continue with this notion of concealment as we read, like the glaze covering an earthen vessel are fervent lips with an evil heart. We cannot understand the first one, the example of this earthen vessel. It's cheap, it's not worth much, it's earthen. But if you bronze it up, if you shine it up a bit, and it looks like it's nice and metal, even though it's actually just earthen, well, it's concealment. Just like these fervent lips. Right? They speak nice to your face. They say how much they like you and they want to bless you and have all these gifts for you. These fervent lips. that are hiding an evil heart, as we keep saying it. That's why we're told, be careful, not just to trust such people. It's not just what they say, because they could be concealing something very wicked. As we continue, whoever hates disguises himself with his lips and harbors deceit in his heart. Again, his heart is filled with hate. And so what he does, he disguises it. It's deceit. He's doing it with his lips. So this is kind of the flip side. Where there are moments where the liar will spread lies about people to hurt them. There are other moments when he's caught and he's going to use his lies to try to get out of it. I'm just joking. I didn't really mean that. Somebody else told me that. That's why I said it. He's a liar. That's how they are. They try to hurt you through their lies, and if they're caught, they're trying to get out of it with their lies. That's the liar for Proverbs. We continue. When he speaks graciously, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred be covered with deception, his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. Again, even though what he's saying seems good, be careful. Be careful, because there's 7 abominations, the number for perfection. His heart is perfectly evil. But don't worry, because everything he's trying to cover up with deceit and lies and skating around and saying he's just joking will end up being exposed. That's important, this notion of exposing it. And ultimately, we are told a lying tongue hates its victim, and a flattering mouth works ruin. These are the elements, again, being shown to us, right? He's a lying, flattering person. Concealment. His very heart is filled with hate. And ultimately what he wants to do is to ruin people. These 3 elements keep coming back over and over and over again in this text. These texts. And I think they're helping us to see a portrait of who is truly a liar that God hates. Again, I'm not trying to justify any kind of white lie. I'm saying, let's recognize we're talking about a heart that feeds on lies, likes to use it to hurt others. When he's caught, he's using it to backpedal, not to be hurt. It's somebody who's just filled with it, and it comes out of him, lies, manipulations, and always efforts to hurt people with it. He gobbles up iniquity and he wants to destroy justice. That is the lying heart. That is one to watch out for as well, to be discerning as well. There is a call for that, you know. The Bible's big on discerning and being able to recognize those hard hearts, even among the believing community. Not everybody that says, Lord, Lord, is truly a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. 2 Peter, Jude, talks about that. They may say he saved us, but he didn't. Be careful. Be watchful. They are destructive. I hope this is a warning we'll take seriously, and if necessary, let's share it with other people, their brothers and sisters. Be blessed.